First, they took to the streets. Now they're set to take the day off.
If women will shut down the world, how will men eat? How will kids go to school?
What a day without women could mean to Toronto and beyond.
And if you thought the Women's March on Washington was big, just wait. It could trigger a job action impacting pretty much everyone. It's been a little over 2 weeks since the largest day of protest in U.S. history, and now more action is on the way. Millions of people around the world, including more than 500,000 in Washington, D.C., gathered on January 21st to protest the inauguration of Donald Trump. Here in Toronto, thousands made their voices heard at Queen's Park. Now, organizers of the Women's March are planning a massive strike to continue the conversation around equity. People we spoke with in Toronto this afternoon say they're in favor.
I think it's fantastic. It'll be the most impactful thing ever. How important women are in equal rights and the respect that should be shown and the value of women.
Every woman has an important role in our society, in any community, in every country.
More power to women, yeah.
With regards to whatever is happening in the American politics and whoever is in charge, they're trying to depreciate women and saying that they don't have. They're trying to objectify women in a way, and I think by doing that, maybe women will show how important they are and how equal they are to men in a way.
I'm joined now by Sheila Block. Sheila is the senior economist at the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives. So, Sheila, first off, let me ask you, what kind of contributions do women make to the workforce today here in Canada?
Well, women make a huge contribution to the workforce. Almost half of all of the workforce in Canada is women, and you really see women's participation across all sectors of the economy. Concentrated more in some and less in others, but really a big contribution and a big impact.
So, you know, some people would look at the story and think, okay, well, they have issues of, you know, pay equity, and there's a pay gap in the States, but it doesn't really exist here. Does it exist here?
Absolutely. We have a pay gap in Canada where nationally, for every dollar that a man earns, women earn only 72 cents. And that's when women are working full-time, full year. If you take into account the fact that many women, because of other responsibilities, are only working part-time or working part-year because of responsibilities with children or with their elders, that gap widens.
How much have things changed in the last 10 years, Sheila?
Things have changed a lot more over the last 50 years than they've changed over the last 10 years. So we saw a much sharper rise in the number of women who were working over the last 50 years than over the last 10 years. We've been in a kind of holding pattern over the last 10 years, both in terms of women's participation in the workforce, but also in terms of that gender gap. It's bounced around a bit in terms of the gender gap of pay, but we haven't actually seen it closing.
And pay, of course, one of many issues. But let me ask you, if women were to take a day off here, what would the impact of that be?
I think it would have a pretty broad and tremendous impact because women work in all sectors of the economy. So if you had a medical appointment, your doctor might not be working that day. If you went to get a coffee, there might not be anyone to serve you. And even into other areas of the economy where women aren't the majority, for example, in manufacturing, there's still a sizable minority. So I think we'd feel that impact quite intensely. It's half of the labor force and across all sectors of the economy.
Okay, Sheila, thank you so much. Thanks for your insight on this. Sheila is the senior economist at the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives.
Thanks for having me.